have Victor. So Victor Enns works as the Publishing and Arts Consultant for the Department of Fun and Games, also known as Tourism, Culture, Heritage, Sports, and Consumer Protection, with responsibility for Manitoba liquor and lotteries. Does that by day and is a writer at night. He lives in 5 parallel universes, so he can also publish Rhubarb magazine, serve as the Manitoba representative on the National Council of the League of Canadian Poets, maintain a website, create Envoi, and the 2015 Portage Poetry Festival. He has written 6 books of poetry, 4 that have been published. Afghanistan Confessions, poems written in the voice of Canadian soldiers, will be published in 2015. He is writing short stories being collected under the working title, What Men Do.
I collect things that have my name on them. Victor is a street in Winnipeg. When I moved from Winnipeg to Regina, I lived on Winnipeg Street in Regina. And this, dear folks, is a potato. And this brings to mind several things. Mr. Potato Head, somebody had that idea. Poutine, probably more fun for some people, like me, than Mr. Potato Head. So it's all about having ideas. And ideas are good. And having lots of them is great. It's certainly better than not having any of them. But don't be afraid of having a lot of ideas. Mary Shelley, for example, wrote Frankenstein, and she was very clear about where ideas come from. They don't come from nothing or from thin air like the Writers' Festival claims, but from chaos. And I'm the kind of artist that brings chaos to order and then creates something new out of it. The interesting thing about the light bulb there is that studies show, this word just drives me nuts now on radio, you know. I don't know how CBC would get by with their radio personalities without studies show. But studies show that the incandescent bulb is more conducive to having ideas than fluorescence. Now this is another thing. Opportunity is a wonderful thing, but you actually have to answer the door, and then you have to go out there and shovel some shit to get the work done. There's a question about what happens when you have ideas and you approach people and they say no. Well, keep asking. Preferably not the same person, and as often as it takes. Eleanor Roosevelt said, don't let somebody tell you no that can't also tell you yes, which seems to be a pretty good plan, although it doesn't work in government at all, I have to tell you, I'm sorry. But the other important thing is that you can't do everything by yourself. That was a woman pirate, and she said no, and he didn't listen. There are times no means no, but the thing is you have to have people engaged with you that will actually take some chances. The other thing that's important is that you should share the opportunities that you have with others. Help them onto the bus, no matter what the reason is, and who knows, they may be able to, you know, help you pay for gas. The one thing I've found in having lots of ideas is that the chances of making them happen depends a great deal on whether you can find the money. So ask, and that's really the most important thing. And there are times, despite me trying, for example, to find some way to break the format of this presentation, when it is important to color inside the lines, grant applications, asking for money, and so on, but you still need a hook. You have to get their attention. Here are some of the ideas I had. The In Dialogue series started when the Writers Guild was going to go bankrupt. And the idea was, let's do something, let's have some fun, and we went to the Yellow Dog and we started the series that's still going on now. Windscript magazine was started in Saskatchewan, and the opportunity was grants for students. And the board actually on Friday said no. On Saturday said no. The deadline was Friday, and the board meeting was on Saturday. So I submitted the application. The board said no. The grant came, and he says, well, we don't think you can do it in 4 months. We did. Rhubarb magazine is another thing. This particular cover cost me 3 board members, but it won a Maggie for illustrations. One of the other things that I've been involved with, Dennis Cooley again, like the founding of the Manitoba Writers Guild, was along on this journey. And the idea was that after rehabilitating the organization to celebrate the 30th anniversary. So I don't stop, I keep going on. And I'm working now on something called the Portage Poetry Festival, Festival de Poésie. One of the problems was, the initial idea was the Louis Riel Poetry Festival, but the Francophones didn't like it, and he was too Catholic, and he was too male, and so the idea came up with Portage, which works really well in French, but really sucks in English. A, because you say portage, portage and main, and so on, so you need to find another way to do it. So we have we have the festival. The final thing that you need to know when you're doing work like this is that it's really important to finish well. And that is, file your reports, and for God's sakes, get all the money into the bank. This is the bus that Ken Kesey saved from his road trip. And as he said, you're either on the bus or off the bus, but I invite you all to find your own bus. Thank you.